This is an internal American political issue. I'm telling you from an Israeli perspective.
Why do we care about the Israeli perspective on this? It's an American race in the state of Michigan. Like, why did nobody think like, oh yeah, we should get an Israeli on to give us his take? Who cares, man? What do you mean? I'm giving you my take as an Israeli. Okay. I don't give a... Zoran spoke about the Iran today. Zoran on Iran is a that should be opposed on every single ground, not just procedural, but also moral, and also that should be opposed on the grounds that is being financed by the very money that can make it easier to keep calling the city, this country home.
Seeing the fact that in the face of Americans facing a historic affordability crisis, that we have the pursuit of something that has already cost $23 billion thus far, the kind of money that could transform working class Americans' lives, whether through investments in Medicare or teachers or even elimination of student debt for tens of thousands of Americans, and all of that being thrown aside for the pursuit of yet another regime change. And it's a war that should be opposed on every single ground, not just procedural, but also moral, but also political, and also a war that should be opposed on the grounds of the fact that it is being financed by the very money that could make it easier to keep calling this city, this country home. And yet there is a blindness to that fact, all while we're being told that this is not what we're seeing with our own eyes. I think we're seeing...
One of the main peddlers of Hassangate now calls it a distraction. See, this was their plan all along. The Hassan stuff is a distraction and an attempt. The Jihadists are flipping seats all across the country in red, pink, and purple districts. Media elites are terrified. Democrats stay focused. We're winning. Ignore them. Dog, you were the one doing that. Oh my God. It's because he realized that this totally backfired and only boosted my profile. So now he's trying to put the cat back in the bag. Oh my God. Literally, this was a spectacular flub. It only boosted my profile on the national front. So now he's like, oh guys, don't. Let's just stop talking about Hasan, actually. Okay, you start. First, you dumbass.
I see that Ulster University.
All right, I gotta pee.
Have given an honorary degree to no less than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The Terminator.
The very one, yeah. But he's not the most impressive name to be given an honorary degree from that place, is he? Come on, be honest.
Well, 4 years ago, for some reason, they considered me worthy of an honorary degree, but I'm not the only person with one, because James Matthews has an honorary degree too. So there's you, me and Arnie, 3 doctors in the house and not a cure between us.
That's some forward line, isn't it? Yeah, I've got an honorary degree from Edinburgh Napier University, but of course, Arnie, the Terminator, that makes you the Blevinator, right? I'm James Matthews.
And I'm David Blevins, and we're both in Washington, D.C.
As we enter the 5th week of the Iran conflict, Donald Trump has been talking tough on Truth Social, where else? But has he threatened to commit war crimes? We'll investigate.
The president rolls out his White House East Wing blueprint and reveals a few military secrets along the way. Should he be telling the public all this?
And a new statue has appeared on the Mall in Washington, D.C. They're calling it a throne fit for a king. It's in the shape of a golden toilet in the heart of the nation's capital. The metaphors are writing themselves. David, we're into week 5 of the conflict in Iran, and the US build-up continues. 2,500 Marines arrived in the Middle East over the weekend, several thousand from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division also heading to the region. The prospect of a ground invasion, it seems to be increasing. As for Donald Trump, he's been fighting his war on social media.
Yes, another day, another Truth Social.
Wait, there's 2 of them? What the... Oh, I'm sorry. What? That's funny. They're wearing the same shirt? Why did they do that? That just looks like he's interviewing himself. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that's funny. Are you going over your CNN interview today, Unc?
Post beginning this week, really, as the last one had ended with a contradictory statement talking about progress having been made in negotiations, while at the same time threatening to obliterate, there's that word again, civilian structures in Iran.
Yeah.
This is what he posted online. Great progress has been made, but if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells and Karg Island, and possibly all desalinization plants, which we have purposefully not yet touched.
Yeah, that raises a number of questions, doesn't it? Not least, is that an American president threatening to commit war crimes? Some of those structures that he's talking about, desalinization plants, they make water drinkable for the population, essential for human survival. To attack them is to commit a war crime. And yet Trump appears to be threatening that quite explicitly. Caroline Levitt held a press briefing today. She was asked about this.
Of course, this administration and the United States Armed Forces will always act within the confines of the law. But with respect to achieving the full objectives of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump is going to move forward unabated.
So the US always operates within the confines of the law, she says, but the president will pursue his objective.
The Strait of Hormuz, there are many more vessels flowing through today than there were.
Is Felix stopping by again today? Yes, he is.
The president has arranged. The president's been clear to Iran, open it for business, or we have options, and we certainly do. And when you look...
Yeah, we got options. Trita Parsi says, an increasingly likely scenario for ground troops is that Trump will seek to take 3 Iranian islands in the Persian Gulf claimed by the UAE, Abu Musa, the Greater and Lesser Tums. It's in between, right? And this is a way to win support over the UAE and turn this into a Gulf versus Iran situation. Not that these are going to be easy islands to take militarily anyway. Okay. Both pro-Israeli voices in the U.S. and prominent Emirati accounts have been pushing this idea publicly for the past 10 days. Several motivations and objectives may lie behind this potential move. Abu Musa in particular is a strategic island situated in the middle of the Straits, but it may no longer be critical given the manner in which Iran controls the Straits via missiles. It would have been 20 years ago if the Straits had been blocked solely through mines, so controlling it will likely not be the silver bullet Trump is hoping for. 2, is the idea to trade the control of these islands for the opening of the Straits? Assuming that such a trade is even possible, it would depend on the cost of not seizing the island, but keeping it. The U.S. Navy has kept itself 3,000 kilometers away from Iran to avoid being hit by Iranian missiles. Abu Musa is only 70 kilometers from the Iranian shorelines. The Tums are even closer. Iran would rain down missiles and drones, likely a large number of U.S. troops. As a result, Iran would likely not have to trade the island. The U.S. would simply abandon it because keeping it would be too costly. Okay? However, going for the island does carry some messaging and political benefits. The GCC states have been split by the war, with Oman and Qatar striking their separate deals with Iran. But GCC has a unified position on the 3 islands in support of the UAE. Making the war about the islands may be motivated by an attempt to push Oman and Qatar to support the U.S.-Israeli war, but under the false rubric that it is now about liberating the islands. This would then also add new political messaging, given the UAE's likely endorsement and participation in the attempt to take/retain the islands. This would be an attempt to reframe the war from one that an isolated America and Israel are fighting alone to one in which there's a potential U.S.-Israel-Arab alliance against Iran. However, while that political messaging and reframing may succeed, it does not translate into a recipe for actually winning the war. That problem will not only remain unresolved, but it will become even more challenging based on point 2 above. In sum, it appears that an increasingly desperate Trump is lowering his ambition. Instead of winning the war, he hopes to expand the number of stakeholders, and by that, spread out blame for this debacle. Daily Mail Journal. I am told by White House sources that Trump is seriously considering taking Karg Island. Yeah, but how? The question is how, okay? The question is, how does he take it? And then if he takes it, how does he seize it? Oh, I misclicked on the playlist. Is that what it is? Oh, it was Marco Rubio was talking and talking about U.S. war objectives will be achieved within weeks. They're giving it to Al Jazeera.
Rubio, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera. You're speaking to a global audience across Al Jazeera English, Al Jazeera Arabic, and our digital platforms, reaching viewers across the Middle East, including Qatar,
well,
Saudi
also,
Arabia.
Trump is live right now, right? What is he doing? Is he responding to the press, or is he just signing shit?
The United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and Iran as well, as millions more around the world. Let me start by asking you this. Have formal talks begun with Iran, or are these still in direct communications exploring common ground?
On mail-in ballots?
Well, there's messages and some direct talks going on between some inside of Iran and the United States, primarily through intermediaries, but there's been some conversation. And I think the president always prefers diplomacy, always prefers an outcome. And we could have done this before. I mean, imagine an Iranian regime who, instead of spending billions of dollars supporting groups and building up all these weapons, had invested that money into Iran, for the people of Iran, so they wouldn't have water shortages, so their economies would provide opportunities for an incredible people. The people of Iran are incredible people, very resourceful, very entrepreneurial, but it's their regime that's been a problem. And instead, they've chosen to spend the wealth of their country to support Hezbollah and Hamas and Shia militias inside of Iraq, and to try to destabilize Syria when Assad was there, and all over the world to sponsor plots and build these drones and build these weapons to threaten their neighbors unnecessarily. So we would always welcome a scenario in which Iran was led by people that had a different view of the future and had a different view. And if that opportunity presents itself, we're going to take it.
What are your main demands for Iran at this particular stage of the war?
Iran can never, the Iranian regime can never have nuclear weapons, and they need to stop sponsoring terrorism, and they need to stop building weapons that can threaten their neighbors. These short-range missiles that they're launching, they only have one purpose, and that is to attack Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Qatar and Kuwait and Bahrain. That is the range of these weapons. And they have thousands of them. They've built extraordinary numbers of them, and not to mention, you know, their desire to have this nuclear weapon to threaten and blackmail the world with. That will never be allowed to happen. It's too great a risk.
What would you consider to be the minimum concession from Tehran to bring this conflict to an end?
I think they have to take demonstrable steps towards ending any ambition of having nuclear weapons. If what they want is nuclear energy, there are multiple countries in the region that have or will soon have nuclear energy, and they're going to do it through a well-established mechanism that everyone, and that is that you allow imported fuel to, you import the fuel, and that fuel is used to power up your power grid and provide energy resources for your people. What they cannot have is a system that allows them to quickly weaponize it. They have to stop making all of these drones and all of these missiles. We saw recently where they've lied. They said they didn't have long-range missiles, and then they fired two that extended well beyond the range of what their own foreign minister just a few days earlier said they didn't have the range to reach. So they have to abandon all these weapon programs and all of their nuclear ambitions. And if they do that, then Iran's future can be bright. But they have to choose that path, and for 47 years they've refused that path.
Iran said it rejects the US demands and is setting its own conditions, such as the financial compensation and also recognition of its sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Are those demands acceptable from an American perspective?
Not only is the sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz not acceptable to us, it won't be acceptable to the world. No one in the world can accept it. Number one, it sets an incredible precedent. So this means that nations can now take over international waterways and claim them as their own. The United States could do that now. The Chinese could do it in the South China Sea. No one in the world is going to accept that or should accept that. Now, let me be frank, very little of American energy comes through the Straits of Hormuz in terms of the energy we rely on, but we recognize the impact that it has on global markets and on our neighbors, especially our allies in the region who produce energy and have to get it out to market. So no country in the world should accept it. The regional countries in the world should accept it. The United States will not accept that condition. It's an illegal condition that they're demanding. That's just not going to happen.
As the US-Israeli campaign continues, there's no clear indication that the Strait of Hormuz is secure enough to restart the flow of oil and gas into global markets. Are you consider a plan to ensure full control over the entire strait?
Well, the Straits of Hormuz will be open. When this operation is over, it will be open.
Yeah. It's just a wish and a dream, dude. Trump is currently talking about his ballroom. Oh my God, dude. I mean, at least he gives like some catnip for the libs to pay attention to. I know that's like the most devastating thing that has happened in America in this last week. Lindsey Graham now encouraging Trump to wind down the Iran war and facilitate peace efforts in a drastic shift from earlier messaging. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Oh, God. Where are we at now?
And it'll be open one way or another. It will be open because Iran agrees to abide by international law and not block a commercial waterway, or a coalition of nations from around the world and the region, with the participation of the United States, will make sure that it's open. One way or the other, it's going to be open. But we have very clear objectives that we're trying to achieve here. Those objectives are the destruction of their Air Force, which has been achieved, the destruction of their Navy, which has largely been achieved, a significant reduction in the number of missile launchers that they have, which we're well on our way to achieving, and we are going to destroy the factories that make those missiles and those drones that they are using to attack their neighbors and the United States and our presence in the region. We will achieve those objectives ahead of schedule. We will achieve them in weeks, not months. And then we'll be confronted with this issue of the Straits of Hormuz, and it'll be up to Iran to decide. And if they choose to try to block the Straits, then they will have to face real consequences, not just from the United States, but from regional countries and from the world.
Your regional allies in the region, the critical energy installations are being bombed, their cities bombed almost on a daily basis, and they're looking for a clear path back to stability. What would be your message to them?
Well, I think the best way to stability, given the people who are in charge in Iran, is to destroy the ability of Iran in the future to launch these missiles and these drones against their infrastructure and civilian populations. If you think about what they've struck in the region, what has Iran gone after? It's been energy infrastructure against countries that were not waging war against them, but yet they went after these countries nonetheless. This is why they built these missiles and drones in the first place. But they've also attacked embassies, diplomatic facilities, which is unheard of. They've attacked airports, which is unheard of. This is what they've done. And this is a weakened Iran. This is an Iran that's weaker than it's been in 10 years. Imagine 5 years from now or 3 years from now, when they had more missiles, more drones, what they would have been willing to do to their neighbors and to us. That was intolerable. That's why this needed to be done now. The United States is committed to finishing the job. We're working very closely with all of our allies, work very closely in defensive. Yes, unfortunately, drones and missiles get through from time to time, but the overwhelming majority of these launches are defeated. They're shot down before they reach their intended target, or the destruction would be far worse. These are strong, stable countries in the region. These are our allies. These are our friends, and we are going to continue to be there and support them as they face this onslaught. And by the way, they're not the ones. Iran is targeting them in retribution. Which
the funniest part about this interview is where he just straight up says, Iran should spend its money on its own people rather than constantly waging war with the region. And like, objectively for Iran, spending its money on its missile system is genuinely a smart thing that they did, it turns out. But it's hilarious to say that when you're an American State Department official, when you're the Secretary of State of the United States of America, to say that. It's unbelievable to say that, okay? How insulting. Bitch. Wait, what is this? Fox News talked about you and Dr. Abdul with former Israel ambassador. What the?
People in Dearborn who are sad today. So, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all. It's great that he's dead. My first amendment was 86 years old. He was going to be dead sometime soon anyway. Second, that doesn't justify, the fact that he was a bad man does not justify our breaking of international law and unilateral action outside of wartime.
By the way, the irony is when they show the full quote, he just comes across as super thoughtful and unironically way more in tune with the collective attitude than any number of different random Democratic Party consultants, every Republican. He's just.
Okay, so let's bring in Michael Oren, former Israeli ambassador to the U.S. Welcome to you, Ambassador. What did you think when you heard that?
Good to be with you, Sandra. I think what can I say? It's disgusting. Khamenei is a person who cares tens of thousands of people, including thousands of his own citizens, raped and women, gay people.
You are the former Israeli ambassador to the United States. You literally have the Nazi flag behind you. What the do you mean anybody else is a bloodthirsty murderer? Hello? You're Israeli. You work for the Israeli government. There is no comparison. What the fuck?
Hundreds and hundreds of Americans by this man. And the fact that anybody's saddened by his passing or is afraid to talk about people who are saddened by his passing is reprehensible. It just is. It's a moral meltdown is what it is. So we're going to say, and by the way, there is nothing remotely illegal about America's intervention in Iran. Iran committed literally hundreds of acts of war against the United States since 1979. In what moral universe is responding to that forcefully, a violation of international law? It beats me. These people know nothing about international law.
Well, the statement that he issued is more about the leak of the audio than the content of it. This is the statement that he released saying that this audio was obtained by a disgruntled employee. The fact that a right-wing news outlet, he says, may have illegally and unethically obtained a deliberation about how to talk about this by way of a disgruntled former employee is only a distraction. I mean, that sounds like a doubling down of the statement itself.
It does, but again, to be saddened by the death of Ayatollah Khamenei is itself, is as I said earlier, it's a moral meltdown. This is a person, again, responsible for the deaths of
I'm gonna once again say you're literally Israeli. Yeah. I wonder who normies will side with, Michael Oren or El-Sayed. You're literally Israeli.
Thousands of people in the most horrendous ways. And a person who, for 47 years, did nothing but declare war against the United States and make acts of war against the United States. And responding to that is legal under any definition of international law.
Well, I wonder how you think this is going to go over for him as he tries to make way there in Michigan. Maybe will it hurt him? Or will it?
See, they're so that, like, as soon as she brings up Michigan, she's like, well, they're all a bunch of Ayatollah lovers over there. All of those Muslimans, you know? Like, it's Fox News, so they can't even do the insincere, like, oh, this is going to hurt your chances in the election. Like, they're not.
But in Michigan, I don't know. This is an internal American political issue. I'm telling you from an Israeli perspective.
Why do we care about the Israeli perspective on this? It's an American race in the state of Michigan. Like, why did nobody think like, oh yeah, we should get an Israeli on to give us his take? Who cares, man? What do you mean? I'm giving you my take as an Israeli. Okay. I don't give a
We hear this debate about whether the Epic Fury operation
Abdul had a
is
take on me as well. He canceled me. He came out and was like, Hasan, it's messed up, dude. It's over.
Legal or illegal under international law. I got to tell you, we got to scratch our heads.
Before the autists take me seriously, I'm obviously joking.
Don't get what act of war, in addition, that Iran could commit against the United States that would make America's intervention legal under their definition. It is really quite baffling to us. And we don't have that problem. Iran has been trying to kill us now every single day, not just by verbally, but actually acting on it. And tonight, there are millions of Israelis who are in bomb shelters as Iranian proxies fire rockets at our people. Firing rockets tonight at the Galilee, which, as I know, is an area very precious.
Yeah, he's like, it's obvious that Iran is not abiding by international law.
Just a great number of Americans. Everybody in the Galilee is in bomb shelters tonight because of Iran.
Well, Dr. Abdul,
can't believe an Israeli talking about international law is always funny.
El-Sayed also making headlines for campaigning with Hasan Piker, the left-wing streamer who's very, very popular on the internet. He's dividing Democrats over anti-Semitism, and campaigning with Dr. Abdul El-Sayed has becoming an issue. And this is what he is saying about that. Listen.
Any Democrat who tells you that you cannot speak with some group of people because of one offensive thing that they might have said is missing the point of what it means to actually bring people into a legitimate mainstream policy.
These responses are just baffling some people, but maybe he thinks it's not going to hurt them.
Well, I don't know about the politics of it, Sandra, but here's the reality of it. American Jews, Jews around the world, will be celebrating Passover tomorrow night. And one of the themes of Passover is that in any generation, there are people going to try to come up and try to kill us as a people. And we have to stay strong, stay united, and we will survive. That's been the lesson of our history. And anti-Semitism in America is not just one person saying one thing one time. The FBI will tell you that some 70% of all the hate crimes against a religious group in the United States are against American Jews. And synagogues, Jewish.
Yeah, dude, 100%. There's literally no other crime that even happens. Levin streamer, very popular. How is she introduced you? How is the viewer supposed to know you're anti-Semitic? Yeah, I don't know why she just dropped that in there. This guy doesn't know who I am. You know what I mean? He just not so subtly implied that you literally want to kill us. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, again, he's literally Israeli. Okay? Of course he is hysterical and insane. Like, who gives, you know what I mean?
Community centers are under heavy guard, police guard, FBI guard over the next 24 hours. So it's not just people giving one-off statements. These are serious threats to a loyal and important community in the United States. And
brother, you're on Fox News, by the way. That's so funny. Directive from AIPAC and Israel to slander you. You too powerful, bro. I mean, yeah, there's definitely, I definitely got the crosshairs. But like, dog, 1, you're Israeli. 2, you're on Fox News. Why the f do you care about, you know what I mean? Like, he's literally trying to make a doubly weird argument. Not even American, straight up Israeli, and also on Fox News talking about Jewish Democrats and their loyalty to the Democratic Party. Like, it's so obvious that this is, you're just saying these things, right? You're just saying what you think you're supposed to say. That's why he hits the old notes of like, oh, they want to kill us all, these guys. They want to kill all of us, all this shit. Rewind a bit. He just did the dual loyalty trope, but not anti-Semitically. I mean, so does Jake Tapper, let's be real. So,
we, the Jewish people throughout the world, identify, stand with the community, with the American Jewish community, and hope for the best over the next 24, 30 hours of our holiday.
Ambassador, really appreciate your thoughts.
My dad is cooking the books again. Yeah, we're gonna cover Abdul's take in 1 second. I just want to see the comments on this video. A lot more people outside of Dearborn are not sad at all. I love how they cite international law, but they can never actually state what the law is. What do y'all think about the ballroom? Definitely a moral meltdown. For sure, this candidate, if elected, will prioritize his religion over. Michigan is a no-go zone. They said the same about bin Laden. He's old, etc. He did not downplay it. He said it was a war crime, which under international law is 100% correct. Wow, Fox News comments a little bit at odds with the commentary here. Like, it's got to be funny where in the brain of like conservatives is like a ping-ponging between like, do I hate Muslims today or do I hate Israel? But I guess it just dropped, so there's probably not enough comments here. But very cool. Israel's the most bipartisan issue in Israel. Israel's the most bipartisan issue in the U.S., it seems. Yeah, it is. Except it's for the public, there's bipartisan disapproval of Israel. And for the politician class, there's bipartisan approval for Israel. So, yeah. Anyway, this is also another poll that came out. New Melman Group / Jewish Electorate Institute of Poll of American Jews. 32% approve of U.S. action against Iran. 55%, including 74% of Jewish Democrats, disapprove. 83% of Orthodox Jews support the war. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, yet another clear-cut example that like American Jews are American and Jewish and don't give a fuck about like Israeli foreign policy at all is an example that I think about quite a bit, especially as of late when people are saying Benjamin Netanyahu got us into the Iraq war. Right? Iran, yes, Benjamin Netanyahu is the driving force here. But with Iraq, I disagree with that. I disagree with that vehemently. But also, 75% of American Jews were against going to war with Iraq. They were anti-Iraq war across the fucking board. So the idea that like Israeli Jews and their universal support for whatever fucking insane thing Israel is doing is going to also translate to American Jews and their support is idiotic. It's actually the exact opposite, right? So just something to remember whenever people do this whole like all Jews care about is Israel. How dare you fucking criticize the beautiful state of Israel? Fuck you. Now, are these numbers still fairly high? Absolutely. Okay. It's higher across the board. Actually, you know what? It's not even 32% of the U.S. approving against Iran. Kind of makes sense. I mean, that's the conservatives, right? 55%, including 74% of Jewish Democrats disapprove, also makes sense. There's another poll. There's another poll that came out. J Street poll of 800 American Jews, 60%, including 83% of Jewish Dems, oppose U.S. military action against Iran. 45% say it makes Israel more secure. 63% say diplomacy plus sanctions to curb Iran's nuclear capabilities. 44% support some conditions on U.S. aid to Israel. American Jews increasingly see Israel's ugly reality. This past October, a survey by Washington Post found that 46% of American Jews supported the war in Gaza and 48% opposed it. 39% believed that Israel had committed a genocide. As far as the numbers go on this, it is definitely worse than like the population's percentages. But once again, why do we care? The only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it's not a monolith. And it's ironically something that I keep repeating over and over again, and people get fucking mad at me. I think that American Jews should be at the forefront of communicating to non-Jews in the United States of America that like Israel and Jews are totally separate. And yes, this also includes like criticizing religious institutions that literally almost universally, with like obviously notable exceptions, ride for Israel way more than the actual American Jews do. Yes, there is a very real divergence here. If you look at a lot of the prominent Jewish advocacy orgs and the Jewish institutions, they are first and foremost predisposed with defending Israel. Okay? Almost every single one. You're thinking about Hillel, Chabad. You think about like all of the rabbis that come out and like write articles or the Jewish advocacy organizations. They all create the sense that American Jews are united in their defense of Israel, when that's not the fucking case. And the only way to deal with that, and I've been talking to my friends about this as well, but like the only way to deal with that is to be loud and to do your very best to be like, this is not representing me at all. Like, talk in your community as well, to talk to community leadership, to say like, this is not something that I want to be associated with, not in my name, you know? Because I think there is an opportunity now more than ever before for anti-Zionist Jews to take more control over their communities. For the longest time, anti-Zionist Jews, self-identifying anti-Zionist Jews, right, were in the margins, at least in like the American Jewish coalition, the American Jewish constituencies. Like, they would be cast aside as bad Jews, and there's still a lot of that, right, in these communities for sure. But the reality of the matter is the number of anti-Israel Jews in the United States of America, especially amongst younger generations, has grown rapidly. Okay? It has. It's grown dramatically. Okay? So this is an opportunity to take control over what it means to be a Jew in the Western world, unlike ever before. This is the only way to begin the process of like combating the growth of anti-Semitism in this country, because a lot of people are unironically learning from the way that a lot of Jewish institutions operate at the behest of Zionist goals, the false conflation between Judaism and Zionism. Literally every Jewish organization I grew up with is pro-Israel. I don't know a way out of that would leave Jewish organizations intact, which is obviously the fault of the orgs, but I truly don't see many more Jewish people abandoning the world they grew up with. No, I know. But I'm saying that there are more numbers now to start making these changes within these communities than ever before, right? There's obviously also like alternative organizations out there like JVP and shit, but like it's nowhere near as marginal as it used to be. So it's increasingly becoming a divergence between like a 50-50 split amongst Jews versus the 100% of Jewish institutions that are super pro-Israel unconditionally. Do you see what I mean? Like, if I were to have this conversation, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it would not even be a question. If you were an anti-Zionist Jew and you spoke out against this sort of thing, you would immediately be branded as an outcast, right? You'd be cast aside. Whereas nowadays there are a significant number of Jews who are speaking out, right? Maybe they're not speaking out against their organizations, but they are actually, openly saying that they are, Israel doesn't represent them, and they find Israel's actions to be unconscionable. Does that make sense? So the next step in organizing would be to either set up alternative institutions or to try to get the institutions that you are already a part of to decouple from Israel. My relatives in the IOF, so my family is a lost cause, but so is the entire community. I mean, I know. Well, Yehuda, you're, if I'm not mistaken, you're Orthodox, right? Or you come from an Orthodox community, you know? 83% of the Orthodox American Jews are in favor of the bombing campaigns on Iran. So that's a little bit more difficult, I think. How do you remember that? I keep tabs on all my Jews. I have a list. All the black chatters, they're on a list. All the Jewish chatters, they're on a list. Yeah. Anyway, don't joke about that, bro. Wait, what? Federal judge approves Trump effort to obtain list of Jews from Penn. Wait, what? Oh, no. They're doing lists? Oh, no. Brother. What the fuck? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. That's weird. That's a weird thing to do, man. What are they going to do with those numbers? They're going to be like, are you committed to Israel or are you going to prison? Are you committed to the nation state of Israel? We've handed this list to Beitar. They are going to come to your house if you don't pledge fealty and say 10 M Israel highs right now. It's not just a list. It's their names and phone numbers among other info. President who called Baker Shylock is making a list of Jews to fight anti-Semitism, of course. Yeah. Is it a good thing or a bad thing when governments collect lists of Jews? Historically, it hasn't been too good. Usually not the best thing when the federal government decides to collect lists and information about Jews and then they hold it somewhere. You know, that's just, who knows what they'll do with it. They say it's to combat anti-Semitism. Yeah, previous governments were dumb, though. This one's a smart government, just like previous interventions in the Middle East were dumb. They were conducted by dumb guys. This one is a brilliant guy. That's why it's fine. To that previous Jewish chatter, importantly, it's also a generational thing. As new generations come into Jewish institutions, the older generations die out. There will be a new mindset. As a millennial who went to Hebrew school and bar mitzvah, I'm not anti-Zionist, and that will only become more common over time, not less common. I think so too. And that is, if that wasn't the case, I don't think Jonathan Greenblatt will be coming after my ass so fucking hard. I think there is a reason for why they've identified me as a massive threat, and that's because I do actually combat against anti-Semitism while I am also an anti-Zionist. So that's part of the reason why, I'm a bigger threat than someone who is like very openly against Jews, and that's why they hate Israel or whatever. Or they openly hate Jews and also hate Israel. Anyway, Al Jazeera Plus post. Yeah, I just saw it. Literally on my own scroll. What's up, guys? This is Hasan Piker. Just got back from Cuba. I saw firsthand the struggles of the Cuban population on the island. This is going through a massive energy crisis. Oh, no. The mic was wrong. It was the wrong mic. Fuck. God damn it. Donald Trump came out and openly implemented a total blockade of oil.
Cuba's in its last moments of life.
Whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
So they're starving the hospitals. They're starving the entire energy grid. There's around 10 million people living on this Caribbean island, and there are rolling blackouts. Food is spoiling. Sometimes there's no running water. I mean, it's an absolute devastating situation that is totally man-made as a consequence of the American blockade. It's unbelievably cruel. One of the things that was so shocking. Your mic was on cooldown. You popped your mic off for the Cuba dog. Oh, God. And this guy streams every single day for 8 hours a day. Y'all are fucking ass, dude. Shut up. If the electricity grid fails, you have to wait for the generators to turn on. There's like a 5-minute window. Talking to some of these doctors, and they were saying that they have to hand pump the ventilators that children are on for the 5-minute period until the generators kick in. And sometimes the generators also run out of fuel. And when that happens, a surgeon that we were talking to basically said, look, we just sew up the patient and we try again afterwards. There are a lot of problems because people are suffering. People aren't making enough money to purchase food, for example. When that happens, there is a lot of black market stuff going on. People are just like trying to do whatever they can to survive, right? But also there's a lot of solidarity as well, a lot of sharing, a lot of taking care of one another. One thing that I saw that was fascinating is people are always giving each other rides,
The thing that shook me, aside from the cruelty of American policy and the invisibility of it all, and how little Americans know about what we are doing to this island, is the fact that there is so much potential. There's a lot of emphasis on education in Cuba, a lot of emphasis on providing healthcare. It's a big part of the social contract, increasing its literacy rate to 88%, which is higher than the United States of America, having a higher life expectancy than the United States of America. Like, all of this happened in spite of American intervention, which left me wondering, what would Cuba look like if we didn't do all of this?
Yeah, fucking camera out of focus, microphone is busted, fat ass mic right in front of my face. Oh, god damn it. Don't trip, it was all right. Informative Bioshock journal. What is this? Regrettably, Iran's commitment to the tenets of Islam means they cannot deploy the most destructive anti-marine weapon, the high-interest financing plan. That's funny. Sharia-compliant Hellcat loans. Bro, no one normal cares. It was good. Made you sound like one of those actual journalists who's on the ground and tech illiterate. It gave you legitimacy. Good. It wasn't even that bad. Be nice to my friend Hasan. Yes, please. Anyway, look at the bright side. Now they can't accuse you of having a 5-star camera. Yeah. I just went and Googled this, trying to figure out if it was like Penn is holding back on the info pending a lawsuit by students about bias or something. And no, Trump just wants it. Yeah, I saw something about protecting them for anti-Semitism, but even that should not necessitate obtaining a list of Jews. Yeah, what will they do? Find out. What will they do with the list of Jews? It's very, very weird. Very strange behavior from the government. Video shows an Iranian ballistic missile slamming into a U.S. base in the Middle East in recent days. Okay, that's not descriptive.
Oh, there's... Oh. Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody...
Oh my God. Oh my God. They just fucking ate it, dude. That one just slammed right into him. Wait, where's his pants? Wait, what am I looking at? Why is he not wearing pants? What the fuck is happening in this video, bro? Why the dude got no pants, bro? Dude's in his underwear?
Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody over here is good. Good.
Are these the hard-dicked Marines I was talking about? Was his dick hard? The hardest dicked Marine of them all.
I saw that one come in.
Is tactical underwear? It's called going commando. Anyway, lol, they couldn't even win on the push-pull question. Which comes closer to your point of view about the current joint U.S.-Israeli military action against Iran? I support... Wait, hold on. I didn't even realize that this was the fucking question. Do you approve or disapprove of the current U.S. military action against Iran is the top line question. Okay, and they break it down with, I support it because we cannot allow a nuclear-equipped Iran. I am torn because while Iran is a threat to peace, this is not the way to handle it. I am opposed because we should not go to war without clear provocation and objectives. Oh my God. They literally tried to feed. Oh my God, this makes it so much worse. Oh my God, the questions, they literally tried to make people go support or torn as aggressively as possible. And even then the plurality is like, no, I'm opposed. Oh my God, they try to cook it. They tried to cook it. So it's even worse than that. This is like when the Harvard Harris poll comes out and is like, do you support the most beautiful nation state of all time, Israel, or do you support Hamas raping every Jewish person? Like they'll ask a question like that, and then even then there's like 25% that's like, yeah, Hamas is fine, I think. Like it's crazy. Like they're so psychotic in the way that they frame the questions, and people will still be like, nah, I'm with Hamas, I think, on that. Yeah, do you support wiping out everyone in Israel? Asked question. Remember, this is not asked to all Americans. This is asked specifically to American Jews. Speaking of which, I do have the Harvard poll that I will be talking about in a little bit because Americans are so fucking stupid. So, you know. In an active war zone area, the first you grab is a Kevlar and helmet. Fuck everything else. Yeah, I didn't see no crayons in his hands, so I believe you. Chat, have we already covered Kristi Noem's big-breasted husband? No, we have not, but we will. Yes, and she has breast disease. Ames is Jewish, by the way. American Jews are increasingly delusional. They still think they can support Israel while opposing or half opposing Israel's endless wars of aggression, genocide, apartheid. It's all one Zionist package. At least Chabadniks are consistent. I mean, to be fair, he probably saw the poll and got mad and didn't even look at like how aggressively framed the poll was. Because like when you look at a poll like this and it's literally like, do you support the war in Iran? Otherwise, Iran will use a nuclear bomb on not just Israeli Jews, but all Jews around the world. Like, they're trying to farm as much like support as possible. And it still was, obviously bad. Can you cover this? What is this? What? Bahrain's Minister of Interior confirmed the death of Mohammed Abdul Mohammed, 32, a Shia detainee held on national security charges. The Sunni authoritarian monarchy that runs Bahrain says he was detained under a warrant for allegedly sharing sensitive information. Opposition groups and rights organizations dispute that account, saying he was tortured in custody as a part of a widening crackdown tied to the opposition to the regional war in Iran. The Al-Wafaq National Islamic Society, once Bahrain's largest opposition movement, before being forcibly dissolved in 2016, said the case marks the first fatality in what it describes as an escalating campaign of arrest and abuse. Yes, they are aggressively persecuting and prosecuting the Shia population in Bahrain for filming the impact sites and even protesting against the Bahrain government. But of course, you will not hear a peep about this from America because they're technically in the allied side of the Gulf. So they're good. They can do whatever the fuck they want. You and Marks Carney got the same ops. Nice. CIJA, baby. CIJA was able to successfully stop Rima Hassan from actually entering Canada, which is crazy. She's an LFI politician. She's French national. They couldn't stop me, but they did get one, which was, again, incredible. I mean, Canadians are also just as cucked as we are, I guess, to Israel. What is this? Here's the Fox News poll showing white evangelical support. It also found 90% of MAGA Republicans support the war. 20 to 30% of U.S. Jews are MAGA Republicans. While opinions on the war may not fall for Jews along strict partisan lines, is likely correlated. The domestic constituency for this war, in other words, is roughly the same as the 2018 U.S. Embassy move to Jerusalem, a sizable, if slipping majority of white evangelicals and a minority of American Jews. Yeah, this is why it's extra fucking annoying, once again. Like, this isn't to say that there aren't a lot of sympathies for Israel amongst, like, American Jews, right? But poll after poll suggests that, like, American Jews are not anywhere near as monolithic in their support for Israel as the way that Jake Tapper presents it, the way that Jonathan Greenblatt presents it, the way that Jake Tapper's panel presents it. That's why it's really fucking annoying where they just not only do that, where they literally throw every American Jew under the bus, okay, but then also simultaneously package that up with like an attack against critics of Israel that literally have the majority position. That only negatively polarized the population, not against Israel, because they're already negatively polarized against Israel, but that negatively polarized the population against Jews. It's so fucking stupid. It's so unbelievably damaging. My view is most Jews who say they're pro-Israeli don't really know what they mean. There's also like obviously like a serious hang-up. Every single anti-Zionist Jew in this chat went through those motions themselves. Like there is maybe I'm a liberal Zionist. I'm critical of the West Bank. And then you move on from that to be like, well, I think this is like kind of fucked up. And then you move on from that. It's like piece by piece, you have to shed away all of your fucking programming. And the last piece that you move in the direction of before you like the last part of that journey is when you're like, I guess I am an anti-Zionist. I guess, yes, Zionism, this ideology that I was like, this ideology that I was embedded with. Yes, Adam called you an anti-Semite and I wasn't sure if that was true. So I checked out the stream. Who the fuck is Adam? Like Adam Friedland? Because he was joking. Oh, yeah. So Adam 22. But basically, that's what it is for a lot of American Jews. Like they go through the steps of like unwinding all of that and untangling all of that propaganda that they learn from a very early age. It's a massively consequential association. So in spite of it all, the very fact that there is the very fact that there is still a lot of people who are like against Israel and critical of Israel and critical of Israel's genocide amongst American Jews, as opposed to American Christian evangelical Zionists, for example. You know, it's a little ridiculous that the entire conversation revolves around Jews, but partially the conversation revolves around Jews because of all the Jewish institutions, right? That's what it is. It's because all of the Jewish institutions universally are using their position as like representatives of their entire community to constantly also launch these fucking attacks. Because it's not just the Greenblatt, right? It's not like the Jake Tappers of the world or Dana Fash or whatever. It's also a lot of it's also a lot of synagogues that allow settler fairs to take place where they're selling stolen land. It's a lot of synagogues that fundraise for the IDF. That's the problem. So even if American Jews are not of one mind on Israel, Jewish institutions are constantly fucking communicating to non-Jews that they are monolithic in their approach. And that's what leads to people like Nick Fuentes making a much more convincing argument than even people like myself, especially because I'm inundated with a barrage of fucking smears being called an anti-Semite day in fucking day out. Sorry, what the hell is a settler fair? Settler fairs are when occupied West Bank Palestinian land are illegally seized from Palestinians in pogroms and then sold as real estate, illegally sold as real estate inside of fucking American synagogues and other Jewish institutions. Yeah, it's not just Brooklyn. They do it all over the place. They do it in New York. They do it in New Jersey. They do it all over the place. We are excited to announce our first federal endorsement for 2026. Oliver Larkin is taking one of the most pro-warmongering Democrats in Congress and DS. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yes. Incredible. More of this, please. Let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, go donate to Oliver Larkin. The link is right here, secure.actblue.com/OFC_HasanAbi. I honestly thought a lot of the bigotry towards Avi Lewis in Canada would be actual anti-Semitism, but what I'm seeing more are pundits and Jewish Zionists calling him a self-hating Jew. I mean, that is also actual anti-Semitism. Saying someone is a bad Jew or not a real Jew because they're not pro-Israel is insane. And back in the day, people used to call that anti-Semitism as well, except nowadays they don't. Oh my God, did Jonah Platt delete that? Oh my God, Jonah Platt deleted his tweet defending the fucking Palestinian execution law. Oh, he is so bitch made. I can't donate more to Oliver Larkin because I maxed out to him already, but you can. Are we going to get put on some DHS list by donating to that link? No, it's Act Blue. What the fuck are you talking about? Your op lost the debate to Grok? Who's
Fix
my op?
your own fucking country, marrying 13-year-olds.
What is this? Defending the files and looking uneducated goes hand in hand. Wait, I have a better clip of that right here.
What?
This is it, right? Child marriage legal. Asmongold pathetically tries to dismiss Epstein files as being important to talk about and goes on about how Muslims should fix their child marriage problem at first.
Fix your own fucking country, marrying 13-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and then maybe we can talk about the Epstein files after that.
Are you aware that it's legal to marry children in many states in the USA? No, I'm not aware of that. Would you like to educate me? Why don't you educate me on this topic? Ask Grok. Is child marriage legal in the USA?
You didn't know that? You didn't know that, Asmon? Damn, dude. I love that he's asking Grok, by the way.
Yeah, so one part is still under 18. Well, how many of them have happened? How many?
What? No, a lot. What? Oh, no, that's not a good question. Don't ask that question. You don't want to know the answer to that question. That's not even like a political thing. It absolutely is a political thing, by the way. Child marriage in this country is absolutely a political thing. It's most commonly defended by Republicans. Okay? It 100%. It's almost always defended by evangelicals, okay? Or, hyper Mormons, ultra religious right. Yeah, guess which party fought against banning it? GOP stalls child marriage bill, citing connection to gay marriage case. Tennessee Bar Association. It's always fucking Republicans that are standing against barring child marriage. I meant knowing about it isn't a thing you have to be politically engaged about. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. That's true.
Child marriages. Fix your.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that he did the double cope too. I love that he did a double cope where he was like, well, okay, it's legal, but how many times does it happen? Honestly, I'd be more concerned if you had deep knowledge about child marriage and its legality in the States. I mean, the only reason why I fucking know about it is because there's always a goddamn Republican in the state legislature being like, transgenders are the real pedophiles. Also, we need to make sure child marriage still continues to happen in this country. One of the best examples of this is Matt Walsh, who has literally openly said that like young girls at the age of 16 are the most like fertile. Matt Walsh, who regularly talks about how like every transgender person is a pedophile and slanders trans people on a regular basis, is also a staunch advocate for child marriage and statutory rape. Yes, I went on American Prestige, yes, with Daniel Besner and Derek Davison. Okay, I did do that. I did that. Special. Cuba sanctions, economic warfare with Hassan the Hun. Danny and Derek chat with Hassan Piker about the recent 8 flotilla Cuba and much more. We mostly talked about the Democrats, though. Utah just banned child marriage a few weeks ago with a lot of tries. Finally. Utah was able to finally tackle child marriage. Anyway, rare Utah W. I mean, they had to fight long and hard for that shit, dude. Oh, I forgot. We didn't even fucking cover Abdul El-Sayed's reaction, which this person didn't like, apparently.
Out of our politics, the kind of folks who Hasan Piker talks to every day, they're people who have been hit hardest by the structural decimation of our politics. Now, those are some big words. But what I mean by that is the fact that people are just locked out. They're worried about whether or not there's going to be a job for them in the future with AI breathing down our necks. They're worried about the price of gas. They're worried about why our politicians seem so interested in taking us into yet another global war rather than figuring out how to make sure that we can afford things like housing or gas or electricity or you name it here at home. They're worried about what might happen if they get sick because they've got a deductible that's $6,000 and they only make $6,000 every single month. These are folks who feel like our political conversation just isn't about them because guess what? It's not. And I want to be having conversations with those folks. Now, a lot of times in our politics, we're told that we can't actually talk to these people, that they're not worth talking to, that because they talk to folks who may say things that you might disagree with, then, well, they're just not worth reaching out to at all. And it's meant that our politics are missing a wide swath of people who really need to be let into our politics. Now, anytime you go on a platform, you don't necessarily agree with everything the person said. I agree with a lot of what Hasan Piker says about the war in Iran, about the nature of the way that AIPAC has decimated our politics and made us think that the most important goal of our foreign policy is to backstop Israel. That has gotten us into this war in the first place. I agree with him that healthcare should be free, that we need and deserve Medicare for all. Now, he streams for 8 hours a day, every day. A lot of the things that he said, I might not disagree with, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to have a conversation with him. And that doesn't mean that the people who listen to him don't deserve to listen to their politicians and to have a pathway into politics to vote for the things that they need and deserve. What I find particularly curious about all of this is that Kamala Harris invited Hasan to stream from the DNC in 2024. And lest we forget the whole go on Joe Rogan discourse, do we not remember that we wanted the vice president to go on Joe Rogan to earn votes from the people who would have been listening to Joe Rogan but don't pay attention? Joe Rogan said some pretty crazy shit too. And we were talking about how a Democratic politician should go talk to him because she wanted to talk to his audience. Right now, we live in an information environment where you can't even verify the stuff that you're getting. People trust individuals who are the same people every day who talk to them. And if Democrats don't want to deal with that fact, that new media environment, the fact that too often our politics feel bought off and that we're not actually having a conversation that engages everyday people, that they're finding other ways to get their political information. If we don't want to go talk to them, don't be surprised when we don't win elections. So no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to cancel my event. And no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for every single video that people put up there that Hasan said this or Hasan that said that, because judge me by what I say. But I also understand that people like Hasan Piker, people like Joe Rogan, right? People who are creating content every single day, they are talking to people we absolutely need to speak with. So I want to be having those conversations with those people, and I'm going to go everywhere and talk to everyone. So if Joe Rogan wants me to have me on the show, I would love to come. If Bill Maher, who said awful things about Muslims, wants to have me on the show, I'm happy to come. And if Hasan Piker wants to have me on the stream and wants to come join me in Michigan, then I'd be happy to come. And I'm going to finish here. One of the most interesting things about going to an event that we host is that it's one of the only places where you can go in all of Michigan where there are young people and seniors in the same room. And I always get two comments there. Number one, the older folks come up to me and say, wow, how'd you get all these young people here? And then the young people come up to me and say, hey, bro, I saw you on Hasan. And that should tell you something. If we want to have a conversation where we're actually bringing people together about the things that we need and deserve, we're going to have to go to unlikely and uncommon places. And any Democrat who tells you that you cannot speak with some group of people because of one offensive thing that they might have said is missing the point of what it means to actually bring people into a legitimate mainstream policy where we can actually fight for the things we need and deserve.
It's a great take. What is this great clip from FD glazing you? What is this? Threads? Oh God, we're reaching now. Law, what have you said or watching for years on a love to the capitulation of this framing? Dude, what are you talking about? I'm a Twitch streamer. He's a politician. He's not watching all of my streams in the same way that you are. He's covering his bases to make sure that if there's like something that people unearth that is clipped out of context, they don't like hit him in the fucking face with it. Like that's the whole point. I don't expect politicians to like go after every single fucking quote and like defend every single quote because they know all the context. You know what I mean? It's a fantastic response. Like it's up to you guys to correct the record. You who know the truth when you see something that like people are falsely spreading around with cynical framing, with cynical purpose, right? But the expectation from a politician beyond what he said here is ridiculous, right? Threads, the Everything app, loves you, King. Nice. You're going to have Shoykat Chakrabarti on stream? I already have, and I will have him on again. But, I mean, this is good. And it's not even good because, like, oh, he's defending me, right? It's good because I think it shows that a politician is, like, refusing to stand down and refusing to, like, cave to totally fucking cynical framing. Okay? And that's good. That means like he will also fight for other shit. He won't actually water down his message on the things that he believes. You know, that's it. What is this? Listen up, Gen Z. If you don't want to be watching us on the hunt criticizing the war in the Middle East until he's gray-headed 30 years in the future like Gen X is done with this guy, you need to vote now for candidates like Dr. Abdul who stand up to Israel. Yeah. Because like this is a this shows backbone, it shows conviction, right? It's very frustrating when politicians come across as like inconsistent, right? They come across whiny, they come across scared. People can see it. People can see it. Okay? They recognize it. People absolutely go, "Oh, dude, like why did you even talk to him in the first place if you were going to do this?" Right? It shows weakness, and Democrats do that all the fucking time. President Donald Trump says U.S. military action against Iran is coming to an end. I'm told by White House sources that Trump is seriously considering taking Carg Island. Another day, another incredible inconsistency. All right, let's get into it.
Tells you the nature of the people we're dealing with, unfortunately.
But it seems that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be the only.
Yeah, I don't know what the outcome will be, but at least this whole smear cycle helped with this. Oh, no, I know. I love how the entire left-wing insurgent class of 2076 consists of the stupidest people on earth and also a Rhodes Scholar. Fittingly, it's the latter who has received the least amount of attention by far. The problem has been fixed. Thank you, Hasan. Yeah. Yes, I saw DSA National endorse Larkin. It's awesome. I'm very happy. All right. There was a rare interview inside of Iran from Jim Shuido. Let's take a look at what they had to say. Iranian photojournalist Yalda Moari speaks to CNN.
And buildings that belong to the citizens and the civilians are getting collapsed, and the civilians have been killed because their apartments were close to the hidden buildings of the security forces, which the people do not know where are they exactly. But when some building is collapsed, I mean, when they hit some place, 2 or 3 buildings just close to that place is collapsed and people got killed, unfortunately. So the situation is like this. A lot of people.
Did she get HasanAbi internet? Guys, are you fucking serious? Come on, man. She's literally in Iran, bro. Some of you motherfuckers are, god damn, some of you motherfuckers are so selfish, bro. I swear to God, you're so, like, lock in, bro. Lock in, okay? Her country is literally being pummeled to the ground with our tax dollars.
People got killed. A lot of civilians are going to die. Now, the city is like a dead city. Prices are going up every hour. The internet is blocked for more than 1 month, so people cannot connect to the free world, and the situation is terrible, actually.
President Trump and Israeli leaders keep saying they want the Iranian people.
Is this motherfucker tuning in? Oh my God, is he interviewing the lady in Iran from Tel Aviv? Brother, what do you say? Yeah, the capital of the real capital of America, Tel Aviv.
To rise up against their government. Is that at all possible from what you see?
No, it's not possible at all. A lot of gunmen are in the streets with their guns and weapons and everything. And you cannot do anything against them. I mean, a lot of checkpoints are in the street and a lot of supporters are in the street. So people cannot do anything.
What's good? What's up? Bro, they got a Iranian from inside of Iran on an interview, and the dude interviewing her is interviewing from Tel Aviv. Like, he's in Tel Aviv, and one of the first questions is, why won't you guys rise up?
Man.
I mean, she's like, I think she is a dissident though. So,
wait, is this, the quality is kind of crazy. Is that Elizabeth Surkov?
Men are in the streets.
Iranian photojournalist. I don't know.
Oh no. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not the Iranian.
Oh.
That's really funny.
I don't really see.
I don't even
really
understand
see
how
ethnicity.
I don't even understand how like a dissident with the lack of internet access is able to get on the horn like this, but because like usually it's, you know, the government gives you access to the internet if you're like a journalist or whatever.
Well, they use XChat. Is the only thing not banned in Iran. I've seen a lot of that from Israelis who are like, okay, well, why don't you just overthrow the government?
Yeah.
Why don't you just do what we did when they said that we couldn't sexually torture prisoners?
Guns and weapons and everything. And you cannot do anything against them. I mean, a lot of checkpoints are in the street and a lot of supporters are in the street. So people cannot do anything. Completely nonsense.
Do you believe
it's
the
completely
regime,
nonsense?
The government has been weakened
too many people
at all because
don't want to overthrow the government?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, she also said the Basij are on the streets too, though.
U.S.
to be
and
fair.
Israeli leaders say the regime might fall.
Oh, and you are living here, I mean, on the ground, you cannot feel such a thing. A lot of militia people are in the streets. As you can see, nothing has been changed. I don't know how Donald Trump says we changed the regime. I cannot really understand it.
What about the effect
It's giving me
on
flashbacks
your
to Zoom
lives?
Thanksgiving.
The power outages, electricity, the smoke from the fires.
We do not know if we have water or electricity.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, it just zoomed in on her, and it was like I thought it was like all of a sudden she like changed outfits for a second. I thought
changed. I don't know how Donald Trump says we changed the regime. I cannot really understand it.
What about the effect on your lives? The power outages, electricity, the smoke from the fires.
We do not know if we have water or electricity 2 days or not. The sounds of the bombs, the smokes are everywhere. When you are, I mean, driving in the city, you see it. And it's all the time, every hour. People are really tired of this.
Do you have hope that the war will help you?
I have to say that people are hopeful that the regime will fall with this war. But there is no any evidence in the city. There's no evidence on the ground, but people are very hopeful.
So you're saying people are still hopeful?
Well, I guess we should keep bombing Iran. Yeah.
They're calling it the greatest interview of all time.
Yeah. No, never mind. That's cool. I personally thought it was really fucked up that we were like double tapping schools and stuff and like murdering little schoolgirls and hitting desalination plants, like all the stuff that she actually acknowledged, as a matter of fact. But if she's hopeful about regime change coming, even though she also openly says there's no way to do it, I don't know how we're gonna do it. I guess we have no other option. We should just keep bombing until.
Who's that woman who is like her cousin got killed and she was like, no, you don't understand. I don't blame.
Oh, the one that was shaking her booty.
Yeah, she was at CPAC.
The booty shaker. She's like, but that's diaspora. She's in Iran, I guess. And so it's a little bit different. Like she is literally. I like to say a lot of these people are spiritually Shia, even if they're like anti-Shia with the martyrdom, where they're like, yeah, if I die, I die. It's all good as long as the regime change comes.
Well, I'd say I wouldn't call what I'm into martyrdom, but it's more like when I don't want to do something, I'm like, oh, I hope an errant ninja star hits me in the head. I hope I'm in a car crash. I was like I had an annoying day the other day, and I was just like walking to and from dinner with someone, and I was like, what if Tom Cruise in Collateral just jumped out and killed me right now? That would be so it's like I want to die for inconvenience, against the concept of inconvenience. So I get it.
Okay.
It might change.
Yeah. And people are supporting the war. If I want to be honest, and if I want to be, I have to be honest, and I have to be with my. And people want the war to be continued because they tried many peaceful ways to change this regime, and they couldn't do anything. So they hope that this time.
That's good. Yeah.
Something happens to them.
I'm glad that we can now.
The regime will fall.
I'm glad that we can now also feel morally righteous about basically nuking Iran.
Well, yeah, as long as this one person is saying this, carte blanche to kill everyone.
I just don't understand. That explains why she has internet. Yeah, except like the IRGC is going to nab her next. You know what I mean? Like if she's conducting an interview like this and she's inside of Iran, one, the fact that she has access to the internet is already, pretty crazy. And then two, what if the Americans and the Israelis see this interview? You think the Iranian government is not going to see this interview? Like they would absolutely put her in jail. What if she is actually in Iran?
What if I went back to my Airbnb like after this later tonight and
she's there?
She's like in the living room and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
With this war, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, and I don't see any evidence.
Yalda Moeri, an Iranian
full name and everything. Full name and everything.
Journalist sharing her accounts and stories from inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm really nervous for when David Ellison starts running CNN and they become a propaganda outlet.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really sad.
Yeah,
be a huge loss.
Huge loss for unbiased, unvarnished truth.
Yeah. Was Jim Shitto the one who was that the guy who was like always getting thrown out of pressers during Trump won, or am I thinking of a different guy?
No, I think that was Acosta.
Yeah,
it was Jim Acosta. No. And he got fired, or he left CNN, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. That was the guy who was like the resistant superstar.
Yeah.
Man. All those guys fell off. Like Don Lemon. Don Lemon is like, he works for a TV network that like, it only plays in Waymos. All those guys fell off.
Well, he's woke now. Don Lemon is woke. Well, I'm a lemon head.
You joined the Lemon Party?
Yeah, I've joined the Lemon Party. I'm a lemon head. Don Lemon and I are peers now because he's also an online streamer. And that's it.
Okay, well,
are you saying she's wrong that there are still people in Iran who support the war? I mean, I'm sure there are, but that's not going to stop me from saying that's a very stupid position to have, especially considering that the two parties that are waging war in Iran have very openly shown that they have no ambitions whatsoever. I knew that they didn't have any ambitions of like liberating the Iranian people, whatever that means. But they certainly have shown that they're not interested in that at all. So what do you want me to say? Oh, standpoint epistemology. I apologize. She's in Iran and she's demanding bombs to be dropped on her and her neighbors for some undecipherable reason by two parties that have openly stated that they have no real goals of liberating the Iranian people. So I should sit here and say, oh, she actually has the right mindset here. I shouldn't undermine Iranian voices. Okay, you know who else is an Iranian voice? Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. That was an Iranian voice as well. We listen to Iranian voices, all of the Iranian voices on the broadcast. Okay, how about that?
Okay, and if we're doing standpoint stuff, well, I'm an American, and I don't want our munitions and planes like bombing them when they could be used on my domestic enemies.
Okay, I like that. Keep going.
Yeah, I have to live here. Do you realize I have to live here? I'm trying to start a pro-democracy movement in Los Angeles, in New York, all the places I go. And I need a B-1B supersonic strategic bomber. I need all these munitions. I need these standoff munitions. I need them fired into, well, I haven't moved into my new building yet, but like if my neighbor down the hall complains, I would like a precision strike to be on the table.
Okay.
Because me and the other people who want to play War Thunder really loudly, we're going, like, we can't go out in the streets unless we have air support. So it's like, yeah, the guy who said that, I bet you're real comfortable wherever you're living, where you don't have to worry about this stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm an American and I'm worried.
Where is that chatter? Does he have a no response to that, or
He probably lives in like Liechtenstein.
yeah? It's always the Lithuanians and the Estonians that are
No,
like
Liechtenstein is that's like a banking municipality. It's like it's a microstate.
Oh, I thought you were but I thought you were making a joke about how like Europeans are the most aggressive dick riders of American imperialism for some reason.
Well, yeah, like a Lithuanian is. Question for any Lithuanians in chat. I've looked up your country on Wikipedia. More people, if you count the greater Chicagoland area, more people live there. Have you guys ever thought about joining another country and becoming like a bigger country? Because 3 million people is like kind of an embarrassing amount of people for a country. I would
it's just
kind of feel like a dick being
territory.
like, this is my country.
There's territory waiting to be conquered.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I was thinking of. I was like, hey guys, if you're like in Estonia or if you're in Lithuania and you